All right, folks, welcome back. Devo does stuff. Today, I've been to the pawn shop, and I'm going to show what I picked up at the pawn shop. I found they had these gray totes in there full of tools. 2 for $1, they said. So I went through them and picked out a few things. And I haven't cleaned them up or anything. Here's one that I had no idea what this was, but I thought it looked like something worth 50 cents. And I'm still not exactly sure what it is, but I did look it up. Impact tool. And it says impact low or impact high, and then release blade. So there's some kind of blade goes in here. Well, I figured out this is some kind of electrician's tool. But I looked that up on eBay, and the first one that came up said $400. And I thought, well, that can't be right. Well, the next one was like $40. I don't know what the guy thinks he's got there with the 400. But this is probably not something I'll ever use, but I might clean it up and make it look pretty. Here's the next. This wrench, which I have no idea who makes it. I just thought it was kind of neat. Now that I'm looking at it, it looks like this one's bent just a little bit. But it is nice and smooth, so I thought I might look at it and see if I can figure out who makes it, but I don't see a name on it. But I'll cut all this electrical tape off of here. And I don't know if that's all that's on here is electrical tape or if it's still got the original grips on it or what. I think it's just electrical tape wrapped all the way. But I don't have one of these, so you never can tell when you might need something like this. It's just an eagle nose, really, but I think it's pretty neat, so I bought it. The stuff I bought one day, and then I went back a couple of days later and looked again. And that's what I got here. This is SK Wayne, 9/16 and 1/2 inch. Forged in USA. I'll buy just about anything that says USA or Japan or Germany. I try to stay away from the China and the India. Korea sometimes. Depends on whether I need it or not. This, I like it because it was long. Of course, the SAE 1/2 inch and 9/16. I don't use a whole lot of anymore because most everything's going to metric. Here's a, this says Calvan, USA, 9/16 and 1/2 inch flare nut wrench, which is pretty rusty, but I'll clean that up. What we got here? Bonnie, 9/16, 3/8 drive, 12 point. See what we got here. Hand use only. Proto, 7/8. Proto 7/8, 12 point, 1/2 inch drive. Which somebody has used this on an impact wrench. They didn't read that, hand use only. And then this little wire wheel that's about wore out, but I just liked it because it's kind of stiff. And all the bristles are still holding on to it. And it's hard to find a good wire wheel anymore. They're all just so cheap. Here's a Stanley wood chisel, number 60. Seemed to be in pretty good shape. Well, maybe not. Got a little chip out of the end, but I have a chisel sharpener. Chisel and plane sharpener that I have never even used. I just ordered it a few months back, and I'm gonna make a video on it once I figure it out. Here's a Super Wrench, USA, 11/30 seconds. Williams. I really like Williams tools. I don't know if they're still made or not, but I really like them. I used to have some when I was a working man, and I really liked them. Here's an internal snap ring plier. It's missing one of the things, and I don't know who makes this, but I just so happen to have it laying right here. It matches my Mac snap ring plier. And this one is reversible, I believe. Yeah, it's reversible. And it's USA. Now, this one's not reversible, but it... Yeah, there's USA right there. I thought this might be a Mac because it had that red handle on it, just like my Mac. And it says it's got the same writing on it. This says for use in both internal and external, and this one says for internal retainer rings. So anyway, I'll clean that up. It's a little crooked on the end, but I can use this. Look at that. Would you look at it? Oh, I went too far. Straighten that up. Clean that up. That's hard to beat for 50 cents. All right, let's see what else we got here. This one, True Fit. Now sometimes when I'm going through these tools, in USA it says. Yeah, forged in USA. If I come across a tool that's Indian or Chinese and it's something that I need, I'll get it. But even if I don't need it, for 50 cents, I'll buy just about anything that's USA. That one's 5/8. $16, 30 seconds maybe. 19. I think that's 19, 30 seconds. Yep, 19, 30 seconds. I don't know that I've got a 19, 30 seconds wrench. And to be honest, I don't know that I'd ever need one, but now here's one. I don't think I even seen a name on it. I just thought it was, looked like a quality, at one time, it was a quality wrench. You'll have a look at this one yet? This one says made in Japan, 17 and 14. It's got some kind of symbol on it right there. This looks like something that come in a motorcycle kit. Not a real quality wrench, but I wasn't sure what that symbol was, so I bought it for 50 cents. Set that aside here. Is Craftsman, and it's rough. It's got a lot of rust on it. I can't. $20 maybe. Oh, 22 millimeter. And it is made in I can't read it. It must be made in the USA, I would imagine. Here's another wire wheel that's supposed to be coming out like that. And you can see it's pretty much wore out, but these are very stiff wires. And so, let's see here, 82, no, B2, 20,000 RPM, max safe speed, wear eye protection, USA. So I can maybe straighten those back out or just use it as it is. Here we go with a Icon. That's the new, well, I say it's new, but I think it's the newest Harbor Freight, their high quality line. That's a 8 millimeter, 3/8 drive. Here's a Craftsman 12 millimeter, 1/2 inch drive. 12 point, what we got here? Blackhawk. Blackhawk, I believe the Blackhawk is like a sister brand to the Proto. I think it's maybe they're cheaper. Somebody could let me know on that, I don't know. But it's USA made, 15/16, 1/2 inch drive. And it's got a little rust on it, but it's good, 6 point. Here's an 11/16 Craftsman. Somebody's been using pliers on it, or even a pipe wrench maybe. But I can clean that up. 12 point. It might have a crack in it right there. No. Here's a 5/16 Craftsman, made in USA, 1/4 inch drive, deep well. Quarter inch Craftsman, made in USA. Wow, that's a 8 point. Yeah, that's an 8 point. That's either for, let me see. Yeah, that'll fit these, or it'll fit square, like plugs. I've got a set of 8 point. They're all 1/2 inch drive. This is 3/8 drive, 1/4 inch. So you can use this with a 1/4 inch ratchet and use your bits in it. This is a SK USA 3 inch, maybe, extension. It's a little rough, but SK's a good brand. Here's another wire wheel that's about wore down, but that one says Spain, but it's all there. That's what I'm looking for. And these, sometimes you'll need a smaller one instead of the 2.5 or 3 inch one. Sometimes you can get a smaller one that you need to get in some tighter space. Here's a Craftsman 7 and 9 millimeter open end. /8 Craftsman, 1/2-inch drive. I don't need that. I got Blue Million of those. But some of these I'll clean up and I'll put them in my toolbox that I'm going to give my daughter. 10mm 12-point Craftsman 3/8 drive. This one, Matco, 1/2-inch. It's deep well, but it's not real deep. I just thought that's kind of neat looking. 3/8 drive. Needs some cleaning up, but Matco makes good tools. Here's a Craftsman 8mm combination. This one was kind of stiff, but it still works, and it's a snap-on. Snap-on 11/16 swivel socket. Probably won't be using that one too much, but I'll clean it up and I'll hang on to it. I like it. Need some more. Okay, here we go with a Craftsman 9/16 1/2-inch drive, 12-point socket. And then there's a 9/16 Craftsman crow's foot is what I call them. I don't know what the technical name for them is. USA 9/16 open end. That goes on there. That goes on the 3/8 socket. So if you got something down in there somewhere that you can't get a wrench on, or I bought a set of these, and the reason I bought them was I needed a torque. I needed to torque something that I couldn't get a socket on, so I had to buy a set of these so that I could use my torque wrench to torque it up. So there we go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, $16 worth of tools right there. That, well, they're worth a lot more than that, but that's what I paid for them, $16. And so maybe I'll clean some of these up later on, and we'll see what they look like. This one, oh, definitely needs a shot of that good stuff. But this is real smooth. I may have to take a hammer and pound that back flat, or I may just leave it like that. It's got just a little bit of an arch in it right there. I just like that. Here's your normal, and you can see how much longer these handles are, much better grip, and the nose, the needle nose is shorter too than this pair. But you never know when you might need something like that. So that's going to do it for this one. I'm just going to show you. Maybe I've got a pile of tools that I've got over the last year, maybe year and a half. I was going to the pawn shop pretty regular and digging through their stuff, a different pawn shop. And I bought a bunch of stuff. Some of them say BMW on them. I got a couple Suzukis, several Snap-ons, just stuff that anything I thought might be a quality tool, I would buy it. And I got a heck of a deal. And I don't need that. I don't need all these tools, but you never know when you might need that's kind of a short 17 millimeter. Anybody that's ever worked on a Volkswagen would to pull the engine, you got to reach in behind that fan shroud with a 17 millimeter. And I have a 17 millimeter that I had to cut off just to use just for that. So this would have come in handy. All right, that's going to do it for this episode. If anybody has a guess on the lyric of the day, just leave your guess down in the comments. I'd like for somebody to take a stab at one of them one of these days anyway. Thanks for watching. Devo Does Stuff.